How's it going, everybody? Corey Anderson here with New Thought Millennia, and today is Monday, February 28th, and it is 7:10 p.m. And we just got back at the house. We're in our office. We're about to do some work on our dream and on our business and on the message that we desire to bring into the world. And yeah, we wanted to make this vlog really quick. This is gonna be vlog 3 for creating New Thought Millennia. And you know what? I've tried many things throughout the years, and I created and started New Thought Millennia about 4 years ago. And in between, I've done other things. In this never left me. In you know what, it's been frustrating because conditions are never perfect. Conditions are, well, rarely perfect. Sometimes things do fall into place and everything works out perfectly, and we always need to know that everything works out no matter what, and everything does happen for a reason. And I know through the journey that I've had, which led me back to being here, regardless if it was a choice that I made to be sitting here again in front of this camera, or whether I'm supposed to be sitting here in front of this camera because we were chosen or destined to be a specific somebody or do a certain thing. Now we've learned from the different levels of consciousness. There's the conscious mind, which has the power of choice and discernment and the ability to think and form mental pictures. But then there's the subconscious mind, which is our hereditary mind, because we are endowed with specific gifts and specific talents, and we have a natural ability to just do things, and sometimes we just do things extremely well, regardless if we practiced it a lot or not. And there's a skill that I've noticed that I have, and when I was heading to the gym, one of my coaches, he's an indirect coach. I don't work with him directly, but I got a blog from him in my email. And he was talking about finding your ability in developing it to a very high degree, because it's our value, and the value of what we bring, not only because there are a lot of people out there in the world doing what I'm doing, but it's the value that I bring as an individual that makes people come to me other than somebody else. And I know for me, and what I want to do with New Thought, it's specific. I don't see people doing something like this out there, and this is our opportunity to bring this to the world in this type of manner, for me to create a channel, not just a YouTube channel, but a channel, a website, a business, providing it in a specific type of service, and bringing this message to the world, because not a lot of people, especially out here in the West, aren't even aware of New Thought. I don't think a lot of people are aware of it at all. It's a relatively new thing. It came out, it's only a century old, and with the latest deductions of science and modern physics or quantum physics, it's revealing the truth and the reality of New Thought, and it's restating it into another language. It's modern science is teaching New Thought even today in a new language, and it's bringing the history of New Thought, the language of what it was before, explaining it the way it is, and embodying that meaning of higher consciousness with modern times. That's what advancement is all about, in bringing something into a new, bringing something moving something along into the new era, into the new world. Like Mr. Hanel says in the Master Key System, that we're embarking on a new era of living, being, and doing because of spiritual science. And New Thought is a spiritual movement. It's about who we are and what we are inside as a spiritual being, as consciousness, as awareness, because consciousness, when you apply it to modern science, it takes on the holographic principle that modern science talks about, because everything is one, and the universal mind is one, and God is one. If we look back all the way to old times, even Christ Jesus tells us God is one, and to love the one with all our heart, with all our mind, and all our soul. And on top of that, love our neighbor as if they were ourselves, because ultimately that person is us embodied in a different form. Because if there's only one consciousness, one being, one universe, right? One word. That's what universe stands for. Uni, which is one, verse, which is word. There's one word. And everything that's happening in our life and around us is an unfoldment out of this universe, this holographic principle, this infinite eternal mind that exists within everything. Remember, the spiritual power is, or the God force, we'll say, is it's omniscient, it's omnipresent, it's omnipotent, it's all powerful, it's all knowing, it's everywhere present, and it's also immortal. And this power, this immortal, infinite, omniscient, omnipresent power exists within us through our subconscious mind, and even expresses itself through us as an individual through the conscious mind, because there is only one, and our consciousness is identical with the universal consciousness. This mind force, this God force that penetrates and permeates all space, is also active through every single brain cell, every cell in your body. This is the active principle behind it. So New Thought is about bringing this reality into life, especially, or into light, especially when we look at the troubles of the world we're facing today. Well, there's a war going on between Russia, and they're trying to take over Ukraine. Who knows the real back end of everything that's going on? I had seen a video, they were talking how Ukraine used to be a part of Russia in the past, but Ukraine broke away and became its own system, its own identity, and Russia, Putin wants it back. Now, who knows all of the story? The only people that know the entire story are actually those in that position, and those that are in the power, making the decision to even go to war. You know, if it is out there, it hasn't reached my consciousness yet, and I'm not aware of it yet. Remember, we don't know what we don't know. In you know, that's happening today. And I live in the West. I live in California. I was born and raised in California. And California is very sick. The people here are very sick, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and physically. People are not in the best shape. Their anxiety levels, a lot of people have anxiety. They're it's off the charts. It's through the roof. In the amount of medications that are being distributed amongst Americans, not just America, but it's around the entire world. You know, and through consciousness, we have the ability to change that, because life is from within outward. It is an expression of what's happening inside of us. It becomes expressed through our character, through our actions, through, you know, if you want health, you develop a health consciousness, and you'll attract and have and manifest health in your life. But you have to understand the principle of health and the principle of consciousness and connection to health. Because since everything is energy and in vibration, once you make the decision, I'm going to live a healthy life, you'll begin to attract the information, situations, and circumstances. I'm fighting the hiccups right now. And the circumstances that are necessary that will help you create a health consciousness, so you could change the way you think about health, so you could change the way you feel about being healthy, and so you could have the motivation to get up and be active and to do the necessary actions which are required of you, required of you so you can manifest that healthy lifestyle. In this principle, through consciousness, you could apply it to health, you could apply it to wealth, you could apply it to relationships, because all of it leads back to how we use our focus and how we use our conscious mind and the impressions of impressing the subconscious mind. Because through vibration, we can attract the things that we want. Because you and I are made out of subatomic particles, which come together to create atoms, and atoms are the basic energy unit of every material thing that we see in this world. Everything is energy, and you and I are a center of divine vibrational energy. We know ourselves to exist through consciousness, and with the principle of consciousness, we think and we feel. And we could control and regulate our thoughts, and we could control and regulate our emotions. And we have the ability to, what is this word I'm looking for? To enter into whatever vibration that we desire to enter into. And from that vibration, we attract other things in the external world which are in correspondence with our vibration. We're surrounded by our own thoughts made into material things. That's a quote by Wallace D. Wattles. It's a saying by Wallace Wattles in The Science of Being Great, which is a book that I have out on our channel. And this book I put out already 3-4 years ago. It's already been a few years. And I was working on my recordings for the Message of New Thought, so we could put New Thought, the Message of New Thought, on our channel, which is going to be free for you to listen to. And through me doing this, I found some old recordings of The Power of Awareness that I read by Neville Goddard, and I completely forgot that I had made those recordings. And I was looking at the date in March. Was it March 28th, 2019 was when I did those recordings, and it's almost been 3 years. And I'm thinking about how just now's the time. Now is the time. Now is the time. Because when I think about this, it puts me in the sweet spot. I feel the motivation. I feel a strong desire. And it makes me excited. That's how you know when you're ready to do something. When it makes you excited. And you feel good about thinking about it. And you feel good about doing it. Now, does it mean everything you feel good about is all peaches and daisy along the way? No, it's the discipline of doing it day in and day out, regardless of how you feel. And for me, this is why personal training, or at least training in general, is so important for me, because it raises our vibration and puts us into a higher state emotionally, mentally, which will allow me to do my work better than ever before. One thing about me, I am a recovered addict and a recovered alcoholic. I grew up drinking and doing drugs. It's something that runs in my family. I've had family die from drugs and drug overdoses, and family members who have been involved with people who indirectly became a part of my family, who ended up dying and passed away from drinking alcohol and alcohol use. It's socially acceptable within my family, which is likewise socially acceptable for you, especially the world pushing, beer, this and that, all those big corporations pushing this lifestyle. And it just became a socially acceptable thing in society, but it's killing us. It's killing people slowly from the inside out. And there are a lot of negative effects of alcohol on the brain and body, and a lot of negative effects, even on medicinal drugs, of pharmaceutical drugs. Even in the commercials, when it says what it's used for, and then it increases the speed of the voiceover, which talks about all the negative side effects. Why would you take something that has such a negative effect when the principle of health is found first in your own consciousness and in the proper foods and in the proper lifestyle? Remember, embodying the healthy lifestyle not only involves training and exercise so you can renew the cells of your body, but also eating the right foods. There is literally something out there in the form of consumption that you could eat that will help you combat whatever type of disease that you are fighting. It's natural. It's nature. You and I are a part of nature. And since everything is one and for each other, there is something in nature that will help you fight off whatever it is that you are fighting. And that's what higher consciousness is. That's what it's all about. It's about seeing life and looking at things from the highest viewpoint and the highest point of perspective. Because life is ultimately from the mind perspective. So that being said, we were up till, what was it, 2:30 to 3 o'clock this morning, working on our chapters for the power of awareness. And one last thing, we're making our videos, and how we've made our videos, we're adding the actual readings in the video so you could learn as much as you can in the videos that we are putting out. Remember, there's people learn in multiple ways. There's visual learning, there's listening learning, and when you can combine those two, the visual process as well as the hearing process, through one audiobook, when you provide the audiobook, which you can listen to with whatever you're doing on your daily task, and they could read it or follow along at the same time, which is involving more of their conscious attention. It's involving more of their awareness, which will allow them to learn better, quicker, and it engages the learning curve. It helps them with their learning curve to absorb the information faster so they can apply it in their life. Remember, that is the goal, because we are here to educate. And that is another thing. When I started and incorporated New Thought Millennia, I started it as an LLC. And as I've learned and grown throughout the years, I've realized that I need to have it as a non-profit, because this is education, this is information, this is more important than money. As important as money is, this is more important than just making money. And we could accept donations in like I mentioned, developing the system in a certain way, creating my channel in a specific way. We could create an open pathway for donations, and people will gladly donate whatever they feel the value of the information they got is worth in the form of money, and that'll help expand our channel, expand our corporation, and to bring this message even further out into the world. So this is vlog 3. Corey Anderson here with New Thought Millennia, and it's time to do some more work and move one step closer towards embodying our dream and vision. And remember, God is our strength and power, and He makes our way perfect. I'll see you